Hey, what's up, everybody? Today I have an amazing guest with us. She comes with over 7 years of experience as a financial consultant. Now, she doesn't just speak from what she's learned and what she's learned over these last 7 years. She's going to speak to us from her heart. She has experienced things with her daughter, with her children. She is a single mother of two adult children, but let me tell you, she comes with so much experience and she's committed to helping families make sure that their adult children have the proper documentation in place in case anything should happen. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you Sandra Guerrero. Sandra, welcome.
Hi, Connie. Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. I appreciate it. I am so excited to be here with you.
I appreciate you, Sandra. Thank you for accepting the invitation. So my friends that come on here know that I bring my business besties on here, and I have a very tight circle. So I know you know what's up. So I want to make sure that you share the what's up with everybody. And I wanted to just kind of share because you shared some things with me that were like super important. And it was a reminder because I'm a mother of a 19-year-old child. My son is 19. He's in college, and it's like I remembered like I have documents in place, but that's just like regular stuff for me now. But that's not regular in my family. Like they don't just go around putting documents. But I want to talk to you a little bit more because you actually help people in your community in the Chicagoland area put documents in place for their families and for their children to protect their financial future. Can you talk a little bit more about that, Sandra?
Yes. So what I like to do is I like to educate the families in the community about having an estate plan, having those power documents. Because as adults, um, well, as parents or godparents, aunts and uncles, we don't have the right to speak on or speak for adults, other adults, right? And if our children are adults, we can make decisions for them. And if you have a child or niece, nephew going away to college, they're going to start life out and we need to prepare them. Sometimes, just the lack of education and the community and our families, we don't know what's out there. We don't know what's needed. And just from experience, with my own children, when you don't have, documents, power of attorneys, health directives, um, a will, things like that, it's hard to make decisions or be able to even get information when your child is, in the hospital, having that HIPAA release as well. So that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here to talk about that and the need for that, especially with young adults that are going to be our future as we become seniors.
Absolutely. So, Sandra, tell me about because you were talking a little bit about the health directives. Can you share with me a little bit more about that?
Yes, the health directive, what it does is, as the adult gives permission for a successor, someone that's going to be in charge of making decisions if they are incapacitated, can make this decision for themselves in the hospital versus strangers, which would be the doctors, right? We definitely understand and know that doctors are going to do their best, but that may not be the best for that individual or that family. In especially when it comes to their beliefs as well, their culture. So this also puts in line those decisions or wishes that that individual has for their successor to make. You can specifically note on there what they want. If they want to be, if they're become a vegetable, right? And if they don't want to stay on there only a specific time frame, they can specify those things. Or if they do not want to be, stay alive as a vegetable, then they can decide on their stating, no, take me off life support. I do not want to. I just let me go. So they can specify those things. I know that those are conversations that people don't want to talk about, but we need to, because we need to prepare for that. And it gives them authority to make the decisions on there with that document. So it is it's a power of attorney for your health.
That's beautiful. So, so give me an example of what would be a powerful way to use those health documents, especially for your young adult kids, like if they're going to college and stuff.
Okay, so for example, what happened to one of my daughters, and other children out there, you go out there, you live, you want to enjoy college, and we all know that college is party life, right? To an extent, right? For some, and things can happen. For example, if um, someone is at a party drinking too much and you get alcohol poisoning, well, that could lead to something very severe, right? Um, we all hope that it doesn't, but we never know. And if that parent wants to find out more information about their child being in the hospital, can get a hold of their child personally, well, nothing will be released to that parent without that health directive. What if the child is in the hospital and things are just getting worse? That information wouldn't be released to anybody without that document, especially the parent. Now, if the adult is married, then it would be, a little bit different. But a parent wouldn't be able to make decisions for that child. Even though they're adults and that's their child, they're still adults. And they wouldn't be able to make decisions or get any type of information unless you're able to talk to your child yourself on their phone.
Wow, that's crazy. Like if something were to happen to my son and he goes to the hospital and I don't have and if I didn't have those health directives in place, then they wouldn't give me any information and I couldn't make decisions for him.
Correct.
Wow. Even if he's on my health insurance, I couldn't make decisions.
No,
I could
no.
pay the bill, but I can't make any decisions.
No, because he's still an adult. He's his own, they're their own self, their own entity. And we can't.
Wow. That's part of our HIPAA laws. That's his respect and his privacy as a human being. If he doesn't want to share that information, then he doesn't. But yeah, but having those documents in place could definitely help him even I would say even save his life.
Yes, definitely.
Wow.
Um,
You've been in the business for 7 years, Sandra, over 7 years. I'm sure you've seen a lot of different things. And you've worked a lot of different cases. I'm curious, like, what are, thinking about all the cases you worked over the last 7 years, what's one case without saying anybody's names that really sticks out that you felt like you made a real impact?
I would say I had a child that had gotten injured, and they weren't able to perform two daily activities in within a period of time of 90 days. And because they had a life insurance policy, the parent was able to tap into the policy to get their living benefits because of the disability for that period of time. So I was glad that I was able to help this client with the policy with their child. Sometimes we think, oh, we're too young, they're just children, but we never know. This child was young and it happened. We never think that things can happen even at home or down the street, wherever, right? We never know what could happen. And this parent is very happy and glad that they were able to have this policy in place for their child. And able to use it with those benefits. And they didn't use all the benefits, and they still have the policy in place for the child, still the remaining of what wasn't used. And that's the great thing about that. We never know, even our children going away at college, having that is also good to have because something can happen, I had another, a couple of other experiences that I have. Another, got injured in school, in high school, playing basketball, and they were able to tap into that policy as well for those benefits.
Wow. Wow. That sometimes we don't think about that. So those were like, is it any life insurance policy that you can do that with or?
Yes. So, you, depending on what the policy or what the individual needs, it could be it would be a permanent for children, a permanent policy, but anybody that is 18 and older qualifies for a term. And it's very inexpensive for those adults, young adults, going away to college, because it's so inexpensive, they can pay it off for the year. And or pay monthly. That's the option. There's another option as well, but permanent policy for the young children, anyone under the age of 18, um, you would need a permanent policy, but anybody 18 and older can qualify for the term and pay it off for the year and have that peace of mind. The parents having a peace of mind, and then they come with living benefits. They come with those benefits for any terminal or critical injury, those daily activities if you can't perform.
Wow. That's powerful. That's powerful. So tell me about your company.
Well, Red Wealth Management came about being a single mom, um, having a master's degree, still trying to make ends meet, raising two children on my own. That 9 to 5 job was just not working, and I started doing this financial services, part-time. And I ended up starting making more money. But for me, it was about giving to the community, giving back to the community, um, looking at myself, not having a community at a young age with two children was hard. So that's what we do. The name of my company is actually an acronym. So RED is for resilient, E is for empowered, and D is for determined. And what we do is give that to the community so that they can feel resilient when things are not going well for them. They feel empowered because we need to feel empowered even when things are not going well. But we have to be determined, especially in underserved communities, in the Hispanic community. There's a lot with our young adults, with our young community, that we have to look out for because they are our future. So I like to give back and educate on financial literacy, because the lack of education is what keeps the community from not evolving.
Exactly. Absolutely. So I understand that you live in the Chicagoland area. So I have it that you're resilient, educated, and determined.
Empowered and determined.
I should have wrote that down. I'm doing the interview and I did not write it down. So resilient, empowered, and determined. make a difference in your finances and to make a difference in your financial future, like really creating that. I absolutely get that. I absolutely thank you, Red. I appreciate that. And I affectionately call you Red as well, because it's like I want to call you Sandra, but I'm like, Sandra's Red, right? Because it's just like she's resilient, she's empowered, she's dedicated, but not only that, it's just like your red hair, like you're red everywhere. And I just love that about you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
So what is it, what impact do you want to create for the world, like for your community and for the world with what you're doing? Because I know that what you do matters, but it's like, what is it that you what is it that you really want to create?
I want to be a resource for the young adults, for the young mothers, for the single mothers, those young adults that don't have resources, don't have the backing of their family, uh, where they can come and ask those questions that they're afraid to ask, and giving back that way. And having that well, I want to actually create a nonprofit organization for that, for the community, in the community, where they can come to that community center and ask for those questions, ask how to even start, how to budget themselves, start budgeting, learning about credit cards, things like that, opening the bank, loans, things that they don't get taught in school, and give back that way, and educating them and their parents or their responsible adults in their life that may not even know themselves. And that way we can grow as a community financially, and we can break down those generational curses when it comes to finances and being free, changing that blueprint about money.
Yeah. What's a question that you wish people would ask you more about your business?
I never thought about that. Hmm, I don't know. Hmm.
It's okay. We'll do another question. So, what would you tell your younger self? Like you're 18 years old, you're about to transition from like 17 to 18, you're about to be an adult. What's something you would tell your younger self?
To stay open-minded, don't give up, and always stay determined to get it done. Don't worry about the people talking about you. Don't worry about none of that, the negativity, and just keep going, because there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely. And my final question is, what do you want your children to know you as or by? What do you want your children to remember you for?
That I was inspirational, that I was someone that they can look up to, and not be me, but be better than me, with that in mind, being successful.
I love that. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank
So
you.
how can my besties get in touch with you, my besties bestie? How can they get in touch with you? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Okay, so I am at on Instagram, Red Wealth MGMT Co. And Facebook as well, Red Wealth Management or Sandra, and on LinkedIn as well, Red Wealth Management. So I'm abbreviating management, so it'd be Red Wealth MGMT. and also on TikTok. So that's where
Wonderful.
they would find me.
Thank you so much, Fred. I appreciate you. Thank you so
All right.
much. I really acknowledge you for just being absolutely resilient.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for
I
having me.
appreciate you. And is there anything else you want to share? Any final thoughts?
I would say don't wait till it's too late. Let's get all of our affairs in order beforehand. It's never too late to start.
Absolutely. Sandra Guerrero, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.